goddesses Medusa and Medusa slayers. I'm Persephone, the goddess of agriculture, vegetation, and spring growth. My main power comes from being the queen of the underworld, and I can manipulate the growth of plants and animals. My mother is Demeter, and my father is Zeus. I have many siblings such as Apollo, Ares, Artemis, and Athena. My grandparents are Kronos and Rhea, and I have several kids, which are Zagreus, Macaria, and Melano. My main myth has to do with my husband Hades, who when I was about 15 years old, I was playing with a bunch of nymphs without my mother around, and the ground split open, and me and a few pigs fell in, and yes, that is important. Down in the underworld, everything was very gloomy, and I missed my mom, and she missed me very much. So much, in fact, that she didn't do what she had to do. So everything that was with plants and animals could not thrive, and people were starving. This was a tragedy, and one day, when she was back at where I was first kidnapped, she talked to a pig herder, who one day, they heard the screams of a girl, and a bunch of pigs had gone missing. This is when Demeter finally knew what had happened, and she demanded Zeus do something about it. However, when I was finally freed, we learned that I had eaten the pomegranate seeds of the dead, which were food of the dead, which meant I was part of the dead. This was a very big conundrum, as Demeter would not let anything grow if I was not with her. We settled for the fact that I would stay in the underworld for 4 months, or winter, and I would be back with Demeter for the rest of the time. I believe that I am balanced as I spend part of my life in the underworld and part of it on Mount Olympus and Earth. I believe that I'm also open-minded as I know how things work in several places, including Mount Olympus, Earth, and the underworld. I also know how to take care of many different plants and animals as the goddess of agriculture and spring growth. However, I do believe that I should work on being a communicator, as I didn't try to communicate with anyone when I was first kidnapped. And this can be added to being a thinker, as whenever someone makes me angry, I tend to punish them based off of anger and spite instead of communicating on why they made me angry. I am worshipped for the same reason my mother, Demeter, is worshipped, because I am the goddess of growth and spring and agriculture as her. However, I am also feared as well as worshipped because I am the queen of the underworld. I have many symbols, such as a stick of wheat, as I am the goddess of agriculture, as I have said before, as well as a pomegranate, because of the pomegranate seeds I ate that meant I had to stay as the queen of the underworld. And finally, a torch that Demeter carried when she was searching for me, and is carried by the 2 people who escort me in and out of the underworld. Even though the torch is more significant with Demeter, I'm typically the one pictured carrying the torch in statues. Thank you for listening. Any questions?